Hey doctors, Resident 1P Relay Junkie Noob Patrol here, and welcome to part 1 of my 1P Relay tutorial series. I'll be showing gameplay footage from my past 1P relays, so if you want to take a look and check them out, all the links can be found in the description below. If you like my Arknights 1P Relay content and other gameplay video, please like, comment, and subscribe, do all the YouTube things. So for those of you who stumbled across this video and are thinking, what the heck is a 1P Relay? It's basically a contrived way of playing Arknights where you only get one deployment slot. Let's face it, if you're doing high-risk CC or other challenging content in the game, chances are you'll eventually reach the point where you'll be able to steamroll all of the story content in normal gameplay. 1P Relay allows for a fun challenge to add some life into the game. It's also a way for Arknights players to express their creativity and problem-solving skills. There are also 1P Relay variants such as no hit, where operators can't get hit, or one tile only, where you can only deploy your operators on a single tile. You can find many of these videos on my channel. So the first thing that you need in order to run a 1P Relay is an emulator. It can work on your phone, but it's not as responsive and you can't get those very fast and clean deployments by Project Red. So I definitely recommend using BlueStacks as your emulator of choice. I've tried Nox in the past, but it has some limitations which I'll cover later. So definitely download BlueStacks as your 1P Relay emulator of choice. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to go into the settings or the game controls and access the Open Advanced Editor option. Once you do that, you want to click on the tap spot button and assign F1 and F2 to your speed up buttons and your pause buttons. So they're approximately at these locations right here. Once you set those down, you can save your game profile, and now we're ready to work our 1P relays. So one of the first things that you're probably already aware about is abusing the pause button. It gives us extra time to think, and it allows us to time things as perfectly as possible. However, in addition to the pause button, we also have bullet time. So bullet time is activated when you select a character from your bench or a character on the field. As you can see, the timing is about 1/5 of 1x speed. So let's go ahead and toss some vanguards out here. And something that you already know as well is you can activate skills while the game is paused. And this will help later on when you're setting up your 1P relays and timing your skills as tightly as possible. Alright, let's go ahead and build up some DP. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look how to deploy red as fast as possible. So this is where all three buttons come into play. So normally when I play Arknights, I have my index, middle, and ring finger of my left hand on F2, F1, and the escape key. And this is one of the main reasons why I suggest using BlueStacks over Nox, is because essentially the escape button is the back button for Android phones while using an emulator on BlueStacks. So in order to perform what I call pause deploys, or deploying a unit while the game is paused, you need to make use of this back or this escape button, like so. So the first thing I do is I select the operator that I want to place on the field while paused. So here I'm selecting red. Then I'm going to unpause the game using F2, drag red onto the field, and hit escape to pause the game. So F2, drag red, hit escape, and now as you can see here, I can deploy red wherever I want on the field while the game is paused. So let's go ahead and place her right here. So a fun way to figure out whether or not red has been deployed is if you hear that roaring sound. And so how do I get that extremely fast retreat? So the first thing I want to do is I want to activate bullet time by using someone on my bench, hover over the place or the tile that I deployed red, hit F2 to unpause the game, click, and immediately pause it again. So here we go, unpause, click, pause. And you can do that much faster, and when you get really good at this, red will not even show up on the screen, even during this bullet time. So I'm going to retreat her there. And the thing that's great about red is the moment she spawns on the field, her damage hits and the CCs take effect instantly. However, that's not the case for waifu or phantom. For those two and pretty much every other single damage dealing character, you have to wait for the red numbers to pop up on your screen. And in order to set a safe 1P relay, you have to make sure the numbers go away, then retreat your character to ensure that the auto is stable. So let's go ahead and take a look at that using Chen. So here I'm selecting the character, I'm hitting pause, I'm unpausing, dragging Chen into the field, and then I hit escape. And now I'm going to drop her this way, and you can see she's already on the field. Select a character on the bench, unpause, click on Chen, and then pause again using F2. And now I'm going to hit her skill. And just to make sure that I have enough time to retreat her as fast as possible, again I'm going to engage bullet time. Click on Chen. And as soon as the numbers disappear, I hit pause and I retreat her. And this will get you the fastest, cleanest 1P relays known to man. So let's go ahead and take a look at how waifu and phantom do in this 1P relay setup. Okay, so general rule is if I'm using waifu and phantom at the same time, I tend to want to use waifu first because phantom's skill 3 pushes the enemies a little bit, and that could mess up your sequence. Alright, see how I paused just as the numbers went away? Okay, and now it looks like the sequence is a little bit botched. So let's go ahead and throw here. Let's go ahead and throw Texas here. Well, let's go use Phantom. Wait for the number to go away, and then pause, and then retreat Phantom. So again, let's go ahead and take a look at what I do for deploying red. So you don't actually have to pause here, you can go straight to dragging, and then hit escape to do the pause deploy. And that's probably as fast as you're going to be able to get this. Another safe way to tell whether or not a hit connects, listen for the sound effects. That's another good way I've learned to keep track of whether or not the attack hits. It's particularly helpful for things like Silver Ash, so let's go ahead and throw Silver Ash down here. And because we can, let's go ahead and throw Phantom right here. And let's go ahead and throw Waifu here as well. I just broke the rule I talked about earlier about Waifu then Phantom. Okay, we'll just use red to finish this sucker off. Amazing, huh? So that sound effect means that the hit has connected, and if you need to, you can retreat your operator to make time for the next operator to come out. But as you'll notice in some of the 1P relays, the timing is extremely tight, so I rely on these cues in order to help set up the appropriate timing to get my operators out there as fast as possible. So again, unpause, drag, escape, deploy the operator, activate bullet time, unpause, click on my character, watch the damage happen, wait for the number to disappear, pause it, and then retreat. So the only time I use the escape button is for that initial pause deploy. Every other time I use F2 to pause and unpause the game, and I find that this works the best for me. For you, you might be able to use strictly just the pause button, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not mechanically savvy in that way, so I require the 2 buttons in order to set up my 1Ps in a much more safer way for myself. Alright, to wrap up this video, let's go ahead and throw the kitchen sink at these group of mobs. Well, this was a little bit longer than I expected, but stay tuned for part 2 where I show you tips and tricks for certain operators that I frequently use in my 1P relays.